Annie, welcome to Enough Rope.
Thanks very much for having me on the show. What time of day is it with you? I'm confused.
I'm confused too, but it's about 9:30 at night or thereabouts.
Okay.
Okay, but,
cool.
so you can talk 9:30 at night talk.
I'll do my best.
Actually, if you are going to insist on talking that Scottish accent, I will have to marry you by the end of the interview, I'm afraid, because I find that accent irresistible.
I'll probably have to divorce you later.
This business is so fickle, it really is. Your album, Bear, it's an extraordinary cover photo which you designed yourself. Tell us about it.
I've been working with a friend of mine, Alan Martin, who is a graphic designer. We were looking for something suitable that really would kind of express the feeling of the album, which is basically quite tragic in many respects, but beautiful. And I like this image very much. It's quite symbolic, and I think it speaks for itself, really.
Looking at some of the tracks on the album, the titles, you've got The Hurting Time, Bitter Pill, Twisted, Loneliness, the saddest song I've got. Now, I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm guessing you've never been happier.
Right.
What is it that draws you to dark themes?
Well, maybe it's something to do with my Celtic blood. Music is an extraordinary vehicle for expressing emotion, very powerful emotions. That's what draws millions of people towards it. And I find myself always going for these darker places, and people identify with that.
Your cover notes on the back of the album are very strong. You say, I'm not a young artist in their early 20s. I'm a woman facing up to the failed expectations of life, facing up to the core issues. What are the core issues?
Well, I think you'll find that many people, I mean, I'm 48 years old and I've been through a lot in my life, you know, loss, whether it be death, illness, separation. I mean, the failed expectations. We all have dreams. Sweet dreams are made of this. I mean, I was writing about that back in the 80s, about our kind of expectations and how they will fail us. And in this consumeristic society that we all live in, which is very complex, we all have very high expectations. We want the big house and the car and the 2.5 kids, but we don't know whether it really brings us happiness and fulfillment, because sometimes those dreams burst and then we're left to look at ourselves and wonder, well, what's the solution? So I'm really commenting on contemporary image. So it's this echo in my ear. There's an echo. It's going all the way down to Australia, and it's really confusing me. But I'm very interested in our contemporary culture, the culture that I live in, and I'm expressing that, really. Now, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Gone a bit. Can you still hear me, Andrew?
I can hear you, Annie. I do apologise for the echo. I do apologise for the echo.
No.
I do apologise for the echo.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
I'm messing with your mind now. You write on the album about loneliness. Are you a lonely person?
Sometimes I have, yeah. I'm an only child, you know, originally. I'm not a child anymore, but I certainly tend to spend a lot of time on my own, and I feel qualified to write about that. And I don't think there are many people that could say they don't know what that is. So I comment on those things. I think they're valid. I mean, a lot of music that you might listen to is pretty vapid. It doesn't always deal with our deeper issues. And these are the things I'm interested in now, particularly at my age. You know, I've been through, like I said, I've been through a lot. And I think, and I hope that people will identify with some of the subject matter that I'm talking about. You know, because life will offer you crisis. Life will give you difficulties. And I think it's really valid to write and sing about these things.
When have you been in crisis?
Most of my life, I think. You know, I mean, I don't want to go into it now. Down a camera and Andrew with you, I mean...
Oh, Annie, come on.
Let's move on.
Come on, we go back 2 minutes now. I mean, surely...
Listen to the album. You can hear about my crisis.
I love the fact that you've written an album which is so vulnerable, and yet it amazes me, because when I think back to the Annie Lennox I saw strutting the world stage with the Eurythmics, you were so strong, so confident. And I know in 1989, Time Out did a poll where most women voted you the woman they wanted to be. Who do you think they thought that woman was?
Well, they probably saw a strong person. I mean, I am a strong person. I have to be strong to do what I do. It's very demanding, very challenging, and I take that challenge on. I don't know what other people project, you know, what their idea of me might be. It doesn't really concern me too much, because I think what's really important is that you find out truly who you are and you're comfortable within your own skin. And I'm just very fortunate, because I knew that I wanted to be a singer-songwriter when I was much younger, and I've been able to realise that dream, and I'm very pleased with that. And I'm a mixture. I mean, like everybody, there's a fragility and there's a strength, and there's the good and the bad and the black and white. So I don't think I'm any different to anyone else, really.
Your daughters, what do they make of your music?
They come to the concerts on occasion and they see it, and I don't really know what they think about it. They think it's okay. You know, probably I'm more of an embarrassment to them than anything else, really, like most mums are to their younger daughters, you know.
Is it true that you, when Bruce Springsteen came backstage on one occasion, that you basically hid in the dressing room?
Yeah, I was too shy. I was too shy to face him, so I just stayed in the dressing room and didn't come out. He waited for a little while, an hour or so, I think. I'm shy, yeah, I'm not... You see, I'm not really... You know, there's a huge industry at the moment of celebrity, and it's really evolved over the last 10, 15 years. And although I'm somebody that's in the public eye from time to time, I don't play that game too much. I don't like it, because I find it very superficial. And I just like to make my music, I like to sing, and I don't really hang out. You know, I get invitations to go to, you know, openings and all that kind of stuff, but it's not my... I don't want to push myself into that. It doesn't appeal to me. I just like doing what I do, you know. For the rest of it, I want to live my own life, you know, not like in the papers. So it's always a balance.
We occasionally hear of those moments where a song just tumbles out, perfectly formed. Have you ever had a moment of magic like that?
Yes. Yeah. Sisters are doing it for themselves. It was in my head when I woke up one morning. I don't know how it came to be. I wish more songs would come that way. And I just had to write it down. I had a vision in my mind about that song. And Sweet Dreams also was a funny moment, because Dave and I had been trying to write songs all day and it hadn't worked, and we'd kind of almost sort of gotten so frustrated with the situation that it'd become a bit tense. And then all of a sudden something happened where he started with some idea and I had another idea, and the whole thing came in very quickly. I think within about 1 hour we'd written Sweet Dreams, and we knew that that was a very special song. To this day I don't really get it, because it's quite unconventional song in its structure, but people still identify with it. And when I play it live on stage, it's interesting because it sounds as fresh in a way now as it did in the 80s. So I love those songs that, you know, like classic songs that they don't really date, you know, they just last with you.
We showed a bit of Sweet Dreams before, and the look that you had in that time seemed to confuse a lot of people. Is it true? I find it hard to believe that when you went to America, MTV wanted to see your birth certificate as proof of your gender?
Yeah, there was a little bit of controversy at the time, because the moral majority in America were very concerned about anything that seemed to be pushing the boundaries. I mean, nowadays, that the way I present myself looks almost tame, and it wasn't really meant to be for shock value. There were reasons why I wanted to look that way. There were kind of feminist issues in my mind that I was trying to... I was perceiving myself as good as a man, or equal to a man, and as powerful. And I wanted to look ambiguous, because I thought that was a very interesting statement to make through the media. And it certainly did cause quite a few ripples and interest and shockwaves, and people interpreted it in their various ways. I mean, if you work with the media and you send out messages to millions of people, they're going to ask questions about you, and you know, but I could talk about these things at length, but maybe we don't really have enough time to go into it in depth. I could write a thesis about it, actually. But yes, it was true. Yes, it was true.
I'm just amazed that people could be so stupid. This is a country that happily watched the likes of Jack Lemmon and Bob Hope dress up in drag many times over the years. Why were they so confronted by a woman dressed up as a guy?
There are many reasons for that, but we don't have time to go into them now.
Oh, we may.
Well, no, because for me it's more serious, and I'm sorry, Andrew, but you're not going to take me that seriously. So
I am going to.
We'll just keep it light.
No. You are so damn wrong, Annie Lennox. I am taking you seriously.
Oh,
tell me,
sweetie.
Tell me. No, come on, please.
I think it was different, and I think sometimes that in certain cultures and societies that have quite fixed and rigid value systems, anything different could be threatening. and they were worried about that. And I think that since the 80s, probably they maybe thought there was some kind of gay message through it. For me, it wasn't about that. But at the time, you've got to remember that even in the 80s, when people were gay, it was still difficult for them to come out. Whereas nowadays, 20 years on, I think we have a far more open-minded society that embraces the notion of homosexuality. And I think there was this doubt about my gender, you know. And at the time, it possibly was controversial. But that actually, they kind of missed my message, if you see what I mean, because for me it wasn't about a sexual issue. It was more of a feminist thing.
You're approaching your half-century, as your daughters point out. Life's a journey. What's the next part of the journey for Annie Lennox? What's the part you really want?
You see, the thing is that you never really know. There's only the present moment. The future hasn't happened yet, and the past is gone. So I think the only moment we have is right here and now. And I try to make the best of those moments, the moments that I'm in. Musically speaking, I want to continue being a music maker. And there have been interesting little offers coming my way. I was asked if I would like to sing the title track for the next Lord of the Rings film, which looks like that's going to happen. And I just was working in the studio with them a couple of days ago, and that's just a little different thing for me to do. I want to branch out. I want to write. I write poetry. There's lots of stuff. I want to see my children grow up well.
Can I suggest as the title track, there was a song written in Australia called Can't Help Myself, Bad Hobbits. Trust me, it'll be a million
Bad
seller.
Hobbit?
Yes.
OK, I'll take your advice, yeah.
Annie
Right.
Lennox, it's been a pleasure meeting you tonight. You have been an elusive
Thanks.
person. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.